number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is...
Somebody who is dying of AIDS is about as hideous of a thing as you'd ever want to see. Part of my gayness is a gift to chaplaincy in that I had to come to terms with death, and not to mention these are young men dying that are my age, and the fact that that could have been me. I had to come to a different relationship with death than the average Joe did. I can bring that comfort into the room that when somebody is having a meltdown, this can't be happening. It's breathing into a sense of calm, that this is as ordinary as a baby being born. And if birth is a miracle, to me, by definition, death has to be a miracle too. There's a movie, Fearless, that I love. Jeff Bridges, he survives a plane crash. And he doesn't understand why he survived, and people project all of these kind of mythic powers on him. It's an astonishing movie. The last scene of the movie, they're showing then finally the actual crash. Jeff Bridges says, there's a little boy up there, I'm going to go up there and sit with him. He said, it's okay, it's okay. That to me is an essence of what I'd like my chaplaincy to be. I'm on a plane that's going down too. This body's going to die. Can I hold the space of, it's okay. We don't know how this is going to play out. In the greater culture at large, we have sanitized death. We have taken it out of our homes. It's in the funeral home. Now it's not even the funeral home. We cremate people and put up a picture and call it a celebration of life. Viewings are a great idea before the body's cleaned up, to see what death looks like, to get the smell of it, to see a lifeless body unwashed is a gift of perspective. When you're on call, you go wherever, and if you get a page in the middle of the night, it's going to be an emergency situation. So I got paged to the emergency room, and a young man had died in the street, and somebody threw the body in the emergency room and sped off in the car. So I go to the emergency room. There's 15 people there, and they're scattered out in the patio. Some of them are smoking. They look like they're having a party. So I'm with the mom and just trying to gauge where she is. She's smoking and looking at the TV through the glass and say, is that Michelle Kwan? She says, no, I can see. That isn't her line. And she puts out her cigarette. So when are we going to get to go see my boy, Chaplain? I said, well, I have to wait till they page me when they can get the body up to the viewing room. And so then the pager goes off, and I get the call to go up to the viewing room, and she's, now panic is starting to set in. And it's a very remote part of the hospital, and it's a long corridor. It's late on a Sunday night. Nobody's there. We get finally to the room, and the body's a mess, obviously. And finally then the mood becomes somber, and the mom says, okay, Chaplain, I'd like to have a prayer now. There was a fellow who was very, very difficult. I did not like him. Very intellectual, but very argumentative. He was very proud of the fact that he didn't have any visitors at all. He had no friends or family. He had his own business, and he had a dog who scared the neighbors. And he got the horrible news, there's nothing more we can do. The very next day, the doctors came in and said, wait, we've got one more drug we can try. And I asked him, what will you do with more good time if you get it? And I had my expectation of what that answer should look like. And he said, I'd like to finish my invoicing. And he died. Part of my job is to see the light inside and just look into the light and talk to that. If they tell me they're a surfer, I'll create an imagery about surfing or motorcycle riding, or they like hiking, or whatever the thing is they like, to put them in that space that can remind them they're more than this experience in the hospital. This one lovely woman, she was probably in her late 30s, and keeping a journal, knowing that she was dying, and writing a journal to her 14-year-old daughter. And I said, oh, that is so beautiful. She says, it's not beautiful. She says, I'm just nagging her into the future. And I love that. There's a sense of witnessing the wonder of life in a similar way to watching Yosemite Falls in the spring. When I'm standing on the ground looking up at Yosemite Falls, I'm filled with awe, and I'm having a spiritual experience. You see Yosemite from an airplane, and the pilot doesn't even call it out. It's a non-event. It's nothing. But I feel that sense of scale when I'm standing in front of a dead body. It is holding the space for the question. I don't have a better answer for it than that. It's, where did they go? They were here and they were gone, so what is life?
Everything's okay. Now put your head down. Close your eyes. It'll be over soon.